welcome our viewers to an episode of Ignite the Spark, a program that Horizons for Girls does. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Shar Specht Pakniak. I'm the founder and CEO of Horizons for Girls. Decided this was something I wanted to do probably about 3.5 years ago. Create Horizons for Girls, a mentoring program. We work with middle school and high school students throughout Sheboygan County. This episode, I've got some very interesting people that I want to introduce to you, and actually I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Our first, Missy, why don't you, because I'll mispronounce your name, and I'll let you introduce yourself and your connections.
Sure. I'm Dr. Missy Skrzyszewski-Servant. I'm Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, as well as Associate Professor of Health, Exercise Science, and Athletics here at UW-Sheboygan. And even though my background and what I teach here at UW-Sheboygan is in the health sciences, my doctoral degree is in leadership studies. And my main area of research for my doctoral degree and my dissertation for my doctoral degree is mentoring, and primarily mentoring among women. And I've also had the pleasure of being a part of Horizons for Girls and being a part of your group and working with some of the amazing women in your group as well.
Thank you very much and welcome to the show. Deja, I'm going to let you introduce yourself first and then the guests that you have on your lap.
Okay. My name is Deja Wild. I am a former student of Horizons for Girls, and this lovely companion is one of our therapy dogs, Faith.
And she's very happy and settled down in there, so that's good. Hopefully she'll stay that way. Missy, I was very fascinated when I was hearing the dean was telling me about the research that you had done. And someday you're just going to have to share that with me because I find that very interesting. I've done a lot of mentoring with other women, leaders, and I've had women do that for me also. Last time I shared some of what that was like when I was the state president for the Business and Professional Women. And they have a very specific criteria of how they want their state president to look and speak. Right. I mean, I would spend every time before I had to get in front of the whole state organization, they'd make sure I had the right clothes on, that my makeup was correct, my hair. I mean, it was a big deal. Okay, you know, I could just get out there and give me a microphone, I'll talk. But they'd make me practice what I was presenting. So give me some information. What made you decide you wanted to do that research to start with?
Sure. Well, it was very similar to what you just described. Up to this point in my career, which is still fairly early on in my career, I just realized that a lot of what I've been able to achieve, a lot of the experiences that I've had, have really been a major part, not only because of the work that I've done, but because of the people in my life. And outside of my family, those people I consider to be mentors, and people that have sort of taken me under their wing, helped me develop not only as a professional, but also as a person, and have really just helped to guide me through good times, through some obstacles that I've had throughout my career and personal life. And so I really wanted to investigate that further because I feel like that's really gotten me to where I am. I think it's the sort of a thing that energizes me. I think it will continue to help me in my career and in my personal life. And it's also something that I would like to start doing for someone else because I know that it's been amazing for me. And I'd like to sort of pay it forward now to help the next generation of people behind me, very, very similar to helping people like Deja.
Well, and about how many people were you talking to and where did you find them as you were doing your research?
Sure. So, my industry obviously is higher education that I've been a part of, and it's what I want to continue for the rest of my career. I'd like to continue moving up the ladder in administration and higher education. And so the group of women that I had the opportunity to come in contact with are all within higher education. I had the opportunity to interview 12 women, dean level or higher, in institutions of higher education that were four-year institutions that also provided postgraduate education, so doctoral degrees, or a few of them had within their institution honors programs or something to that extent. So they had the opportunity to not only work in helping with develop colleagues and staff, but also a huge wide variety of students as well. And so I had the opportunity to interview them and talk to them about their mentoring experiences from the time of when they were a protege, very early on in their career, all the way through the point of when they became a mentor, why they wanted to mentor other individuals, why they feel that it's important, what are some of the benefits to the different kinds of mentoring that there are, that they may have experienced, whether it's formal mentoring or more informal mentoring, some of their experiences that they've had with either mentors or proteges that were of the same gender or of a different gender. Those are all different kind of dynamic relationships. And so I asked them some questions related to the mentoring experiences that they had, the meaning that they felt that the mentoring had for them, how compelled that they were to mentor other people, and then really at what point in their life, which is really what I wanted to get at the heart of for my research, was at what point in their life, in their career, did they feel that they made that transition in their identity from a protege or a mentee to a mentor. And that's really where I see myself right now, is wondering, am I at that point, and can you identify a point when you're ready to go from being a protege, or at least partly a protege, to really being able to say, okay, I'm ready to help other people.
Mm-hmm. And that is interesting. I think I shared with you when I first met you, or briefly after, the research that Governor Thompson had done on the glass ceiling. And I had the privilege of helping with that project and talking to employers and women that were trying to climb that corporate ladder and some of those issues. And I guess one that I still very vividly remember is that what we kept finding is at least the corporate ladder back then in the olden days, that women did not want to help other women. You know, it was such a struggle to get as far as they had gotten that they were afraid of reaching out and helping somebody else. And to me, that's never been an issue. I've always felt that to be able to help somebody else, you know, get further really is a big difference. It just makes all the difference. To me, that helps me as much now, being able to help others, as it did back then when somebody helped me. So
Right, absolutely. And today, we're already at the point where they're not even calling it the glass ceiling anymore. They're calling it the labyrinth. And that the glass ceiling has so many cracks in it now that it's not so much that a woman hits that ceiling. It's now a labyrinth. It's like a maze, and it's how do you navigate through that maze to get where you want to get, because you can get there regardless of what your gender may be. And one of those key ways to try to navigate around those barriers, as they like to call them, and get to where whatever it is that you want to achieve in your career or your life, is mentoring. Mentoring isn't a be-all, end-all, though. It certainly has a lot of benefits to it, but even something like sponsorship or coaching or having role models, even those things can be very beneficial to sort of navigating in that regard.
And I find the interesting lead-in, and I'm going to switch to you, Deja. One of our cell lines, if you want to call it that, is that we try to help young women navigate life's roadmap. And now you and I have worked together for just over 2 years, I think.
Way back when.
And I'd love for you to share the story of when you and I first met.
Okay, well, when me and my lovely Shar first met, this is a great story, actually. Well, I just got back into foster care. I was in a treatment facility for 2 years, and I just got back into foster care. And I was actually doing really, really good, but my foster mom seemed to think that there was something that wasn't really there. And she kept, for the longest time, she was like, well, maybe if I adjust, then it will get there. And I was still adjusting, and she was just like, it's not there. So she came and she talked to me, and me and her have this really good relationship, a really good understanding. And she said, hey, how would you like to be in a girls group? And out of the blue, I just kind of looked at her like, what did you just say to me? And she was like, how would you like to be in a girls group? And I was like, this isn't gonna go well. How can I break this down to her the nice way? I was like, I'm not going into a girls group. That's not happening. I don't want to deal with a bunch of young females just like me. It's just not happening. And she was like, come on, just give it a try, blah, 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 blah. And I've heard the girls group around here. It was a different one, but I didn't know it was Horizons for Girls, but it was a different one. And I'm just like, Mom, I've heard stories about that. I'm not going there. There's not happening. And then it kind of got to where, where you have this conversation with your parents, and it's like, no, yes, no, yes. And then you realize she's in charge, so it's always yes. So that's how I said fine. And she was like, good, you're going to meet the lady in a couple of minutes. And I was like, oh, you did not. So here comes Shar. She comes in our house and she sits down and she's talking to us about Horizons for Girl. And I'm totally just ignoring her and not listening. And I'm like, can she just leave? I don't want to deal with her. She's really old. She's not going to know what to do with me. I'm probably going to scare the living daylights out of her. This is just not going to go well. And my mom could kind of tell that I wasn't listening. So she gave me that look you better be listening. And I was just like, I'm not listening. And she started saying what it was that she wanted to help me with, and what she's seen in me was great. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, you don't see anything in me. You don't even know me. Stop saying stuff that you don't know. And then at the end of our meeting, I started kind of listening in the end, and she was like, hey, the girls are getting together today. Do you want to come with us today? And I kind of made up this story I don't feel well, I'm nervous, I don't want to go. And instead of her pushing it, she was like, okay, that's fine. And she was like, well, we'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay. So she leaves, and I look at my mom, and I'm like, Mom, she's old. What are you doing here? She's supposed to be mentoring me. Am I going to be babysitting? I'm not changing her diapers. I was really mean. And I was just like, I can't do this. I don't want to deal with her. I was like, I'm probably going to scare her. I'm probably going to be the one to scare her or something like that. And Mom's like, no, you're not. She's a tough lady. I grew up with her. I used to look up to her. And I'm like, you know her? And she's like, yeah, I used to look up to her. I used to hear around about her. And she's a really nice lady. And I'm like, yeah, back in the day. So the next morning comes, and I totally forgot I was going with Shar. My mom calls. And she's like, get ready, Shar's coming to pick you up. And I was like, here this go. Hopefully she doesn't come. And I'm hoping and praying she doesn't come. And something got caught up, and Shar called, and she said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it today. And I'm just praying. I'm like, yes, there is a God. She's not coming. This is over. I scared her. She's not coming. And she's like, but tomorrow I will come and pick you up. It's just a lot of things that got caught up. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
After school every day, we do some weekend activities. Even during the summer, we're with the girls midweek 3 times. And we're doing activities, and typically what we do if someone decides they would like to mentor is we bring them in, we take them through some initial trainings, and we have them mentor in a group setting with these group activities. Then optional for those mentors is if they would like to become certified. They're doing the group mentoring, they're working with the girls in the various activities that we're doing. They have to do a minimum of 20 hours doing that type of mentoring. At that point, we consider them certified, and then they're able to work one-on-one with one of the students if they would like to. And we've had several of our mentors say, yes, this is something I want to do. And they've done activities one-on-one with the girls. I do activities with Deja one-on-one. I do some activities with other students one-on-one. And that is also, the group activity is great, the social engagement, but that one-on-one, that opportunity to ask those questions and feel comfortable knowing that what you're sharing is going to stay confidential.
Absolutely, and that's fantastic. And it's also great to hear that you're doing a lot of work to help to develop mentors. That's another area of the research there's a lot of questions right now as we kind of throw people into the situation to say, you're a mentor, go ahead and do it right. And we don't really prepare them very well for some of the things that are going to maybe come up in that type of a relationship, or how they can help to develop the protege. So it's great that not only that you bring these types of relationships together, but that you do so much work to try to develop and prepare the mentors as well.
Right. In fact, this fall before the school year, or right after the school year starts, actually, we're going to be doing a day-long training with some of our mentors, and we're going to bring in some speakers, helping them to handle some of the situations that they might not feel so comfortable with. Because certainly our students have issues, and we're not the professionals, but we need to be able to cope with whatever the situation presents. So hopefully after this day-long session, they will start to feel a little bit more comfortable with the students they're working with. What's been exciting, and Deja knows this student quite well, Guadalupe. One of our first students that we mentored, and she graduated last year from high school, and she was accepted into AmeriCorps, and she's been in AmeriCorps now for a year, traveling the country. And I love watching her Facebook page and seeing all the places she's been. And when she was back, she visited with us at Christmas time, and then she told us that she was chainsaw certified.
Wow.
Because they had done some stuff in the woods somewhere, and she had been taught how to use a chainsaw. But one of the things she shared with me was that she wanted to find out more about becoming a mentor. So again, it's exciting to see that peer-to-peer opportunity starting to present itself. Because again, as Deja will so freely admit, Shar is old. So when somebody your age or younger, when one of their peers can share something with them, that is absolutely awesome, because I may have said the same thing, but again, if they've heard it multiple times from multiple generations, it starts to mean a little bit more, and that's exciting.
Right. And traditional mentoring is typically defined as a more senior individual helping to mentor a more junior individual. But when it comes to the amount, especially among women, the amount of mentors that are available, if you just look at it from a very traditional standpoint, is very limited for young women to be mentored by more senior type women. So if we can expand the group of mentors by looking at it not so much as always senior to junior, there's value in that, but looking at it from a peer-to-peer and what can be shared among peers will just expand the group of mentors, especially among females that there are.
I know, it's exciting, it really is. And I want to, again, invite viewers that are watching this, if you're thinking, mentor, not for me, it's something that 30 years ago I would have said, no way, that's not me. And I love what I do, whether I'm doing it in the professions or whether I'm doing it with the students that I'm working with. I love what I do. At the end of the day, definitely tired, but I feel very rewarded when I'm able to convince a young lady that I'm not so old and I might know what I'm talking about, and that I'm able to make them feel more comfortable in some of those social settings. So it's exciting to see that happen. Again, if somebody's thinking they want to become a mentor, certainly visit our website, and there's lots of research, there's lots of information about mentoring and what's involved, and certainly we do training, and we do background checks, and we check references. We want to make sure that our students are safe. But it's definitely something you want to do, and that's very simply horizonsforgirls.com, and definitely check it out. Now, before we close, I want to ask you, Missy, if there's anything else you want to share with our viewers.
Well, I think mentoring is a hugely positive action that you can become a part of, and it's been a pleasure working with the Horizons for Girls group to see the research that I've done in action. And I think you know, it would be a great opportunity for anybody here at UW-Sheboygan, whether it's faculty, staff, even some of our students, to engage in some of that peer-to-peer mentoring. I think, you know, we've got a great group here that could become a part of that as well, and I would encourage that.
Excellent. I like hearing that. And we actually, right now, we do have 2 students, UW students,
Excellent.
that are going through training to become a mentor. Deja, real quickly, if you had to say one sentence about why somebody should want to mentor, what would you say? And I've got you speechless. I love it.
Pay it forward.
What?
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Excellent, excellent, definitely. You know, and I think I've watched you become socially adaptable to a lot of variety of situations where at the beginning you might have said, absolutely not, no way, and
Yeah, when you have me speak a lot.
but you've gotten very good at it.
Yeah.
So definitely. But again, I want to invite people to come back. We're going to be doing this show on a regular basis. We're going to invite a variety of different guests, and we're going to be looking at, as we like to call it, igniting the spark. When I'm working with a student and they're kind of looking at me and going, oh, is this old lady ever going to shut up and go away? And I keep talking, and all of a sudden something clicks. And all of a sudden you can kind of see that light bulb go on. You're going, oh, I've got you. I'm a salesperson at heart, and I know when I can make that light bulb go on, I've captured something. I'm able to take it forward, and that's really, really awesome when that happens. So, you know, again, inviting the viewers, think about it. If you want to ask questions, you can contact us via the website. It's very exciting when that happens. And you get to meet people like Deja. It's been enjoyable, and we do mentoring throughout Sheboygan County. We work with schools in all of the various communities, and we make the schedule of mentoring fit whatever your schedule is. Yes, we're with the girls every day, but our mentors are with us typically maybe once a week or once every other week, whatever fits their schedule. We just make sure it's a consistent schedule because, again, the girls want to make sure that they can depend on that mentor and that they're going to show up. So
In sweatpants.
we don't, what was that?
In sweatpants.
We don't expect the mentors to be there Monday through Friday or our weekend retreats, but certainly wherever you feel that you want to participate, we make the schedule fit. And you've got the opportunity to really, as Deja said, pay it forward, and I think that's cool.